Today we are looking at our second day of similarity, solving for missing sides still. So our first example here says using similarity solve for the missing side. It is talking about the x. So we need to make our fractions, our proportion of matching sides. So I'm looking for x, and it's on the shape on the left. The side that would match with x, because these shapes are already facing the same way, would be 7. So I'm going to make my first fraction as x on top of 7. Now I have to pick another side from the left and match it up to the one on the right. I'm going to pick 90 on top. So 90 from the left shape would match with 10 from the right shape. So my other fraction would be 90 on top and 10 on the bottom. I need to put my equal sign in between, and now I have a proportion that I can cross multiply. So I will do x times 10, which would give me 10x, and I will do 90 times 7, which would give me 630. Then I just need to solve for x. So on both sides I need to divide by 10 to get rid of the 10. So x would equal, and when I put this in my calculator, I'll get 63. So I'm going to go back to my shape and label that the side with x is 63. Now let me look at my second question. It also says using similarity solve for the missing side, but I'm not ready to start this problem because the shapes don't look like they're facing the same way. So I'm going to redraw this shape over here, and if I redraw that and spin it around, it would look something like this. And this side with the 16 would move to be over here, and the side with the 22 would be what looks like the hypotenuse, the slanted side, and it matches with what looks to be the 11. So 11 and 22 would match. So when I start making my fraction, I'll have 11 on top of 22. And then I have to have my fraction with x in it, since that's what I'm looking for. And x would match with the side 16. I need to put the x on top and the 16 on the bottom. Now I need to put my my equal sign in there, and I'm ready to cross multiply. So again, I will do 11 times 16, and I will get 176. And then I will do 22 times x and get 22x. Now I want to solve, so I'm going to draw my line down. The only thing to get rid of is I need to divide 22 on both sides. So I will only have x on the right side, and it will equal 8. So I'm going to go back to my triangle and label that side x is going to be 8. Now let's flip over and look at the back on how we would deal with a word problem. So we will have 3 main steps when we work on a word problem with similarity. The first of our steps is going to be to draw a picture, and our picture most likely would have 2 shapes involved, and we need to label our sides. So number 1, draw a picture and label sides. Our second thing we'll do after that, it's what we've been doing. We had to write a proportion, write our 2 fractions equal to each other, and then after we write our proportion, we have been cross multiplying to solve. So number 3, cross multiply to solve, and we are going to add one thing on because it's a word problem. We're going to say use the correct units because of our word problem. So let's take a look at our first example with these 3 steps. We have a cell phone tower. So a cellular telephone tower casts a shadow that is 72 feet long. while a tree nearby that is 27 feet tall casts a shadow that is 6 feet long. How tall is the tower? Well, I'm going to draw to my best ability exactly what it says. So here is a tower. I'm trying to make it look like a cell phone tower. Who knows? Maybe it looks a little something like that. And it casts a shadow on the ground, and it tells me that number should be 72 feet long. I know that part. Now I need to make this shape, not just two lines, so I'm going to go ahead and connect and turn it into a triangle. Then it tells me that there's a tree, so I'm going to draw a tree nearby, best of my ability. And it tells me that this tree is 27 feet tall, so if I put a line from the top to the bottom of this tree, it would be 27 feet. And this tree's shadow is only 6 feet long. 6 feet for this tree. And again, I want to make this into a shape, not just two lines, so I'm going to connect it and make a triangle. So here's what I've got. Now, my drawing's not the best, so it doesn't exactly look like these two shapes would be the same shape, different size, that they would be similar, but they will be. So let me add by my word problem that these shapes will be similar. They are similar. So I get to use proportions to solve this question. So the side that I want to find, it said how tall is the tower. So I am looking for this number over here, where I'm going to put an X on the left of that first triangle. Time for me to write fractions and match up sides. So the X that I'm looking to find matches with the 27 for how tall the tree is. So my first fraction would be X over 27. My second fraction would be 72 from the shadow for the tower and 6 from the shadow for the tree. So my second fraction would be 72 over 6. I put my equal sign in the middle, and now I'm ready to cross multiply. So I will do 6 times x and get 6x, and then I will do 27 times 72. I need to break out the calculator for this one, and I will get 1,944. Then I need to solve. It looks like my only step is to divide both sides by 6. So my answer for how tall the tower will be, x equals 324. Again, this needs units because it's a word problem, and they were measuring in feet. So I'm going to go back to my picture, and where x was, I'm going to write that is 324 feet tall for the cell phone tower.